Well, thank you so much for joining us this beautiful morning, and I'm coming to you from Protea Hotel here in Kampala, where of course we also continue to join the rest of other people, let me say women in general, to celebrate this beautiful day, and we join the rest of other voices to say Happy Women's Day to all the women that are out there doing something to add a penny to the development of this country. But such a day, of course, we bring into account on women who have really made it to a success, and they're now inspirational to the rest of the young girls that are also intending to become so important like them. This beautiful morning, I am happy to be joined by two powerful women. I can repeat the word, two powerful women in aviation industry. And just on my immediate left is the Deputy Director General for Civil Aviation Authority, Madam Olive Birungi Lumonya. And she is not only the Deputy Director General for Civil Aviation, she has also served on many boards, different organizations, but she's also here with us. We're really happy so that you've joined us on Morning at NTV.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Okay, and then the extreme left is also the CEO for Uganda Airline, Madam Jennifer Vamutraki. Also happy to have you on this show. I want to start with you, the Deputy Director General for Civil Aviation Authority. What does such an important day mean to you as a woman, a mother, and somebody who has contributed to the growth of this country?
Wow, to me, I must say, one, it's an opportunity for us to take stock of where we have come from to where we are today and where we intend to be in the next few years. If you look at the women movement, I think the first women's conference was in 1975, I think in Mexico. We had Kobe Hygiene in 1980. Fortunately, we had Africa in Nairobi, 1985. And then we had the global one, World Women Conference in Beijing in 1995. Now, those are almost 38 years. Or 48 years since then. So what have we achieved? I must also add that I was privileged to have been the representative of the young women to the Women Conference in Beijing. And I presented actually the affirmative areas that we thought could make a difference in the women today. So for me, I'm happy because looking at the numbers, definitely milestones have been achieved. We are not yet there, but if you go to the political arena, we are seeing over 30% or 32% of women in parliament. We are seeing women in cabinet. We still have gaps when it comes to business because with women, we are mainly in the informal sector. Almost 60% of women are in the informal sector. Now that is also a risk because when we come to the environmental challenges that are affecting the world today, they are affecting the informal sector more. So I think for me, it's a day to review where we have been, what are we doing well, and what can we do differently in order to be able to achieve what was agreed on.
I will come back to you, but let me go to the CEO for Uganda. You are steering the wheel for the national carrier, and we want you to also tell us what really this day means, because it has come on a day when you're still in the steering wheel of the national carrier. That's Uganda Airline. What does this day mean to you as a woman?
I think for me, if I look into the industry, as a woman, I am challenged with how many women am I pulling up to come into the boardroom, to come into managerial positions, to enter the cockpit. We have very few women flying. We have only 6. We have very few women engineers. So the challenge for me is how many more women should come to the forefront and take on these positions. So that's the challenge I have for myself.
And someone would be asking, taking on the CEO's position is not something very easy. But as a woman, balancing your family time and your work, you have to be thinking every time. How do you do that? If somebody may want to know.
Wow. It's challenging, especially if you have young ones.
And somebody may think maybe you're not a mother or you're not looking after any kids.
I have 5 and my oldest is 22. And it's a challenge because I've been in the industry when they were younger. But the beauty is at certain levels you don't work over the weekend. So you tend to spend a lot of time with them. You give them time. But it is challenging to make sure that you're in the house early enough to carry out your mother duties, because you're late, you're doing events, so it is challenging.
Yeah, I'll come back to the Deputy Director General. This is quite tricky, but you can answer just the same question. Balancing your family affairs vis-a-vis your work, you being a Deputy Director General is not an easy thing, but also serving on some other boards like I've seen you requires maybe someone who has to sleep late in the night. I'm trying to think that maybe if some men may not want to see a woman is always because they think it's you that is supposed to, drive the home and everything, but balancing your time for work and for your family.
Okay. Yes, as Jennifer said, it's definitely a big challenge. But I think from my experience and what I think has worked for me, and which other women can learn from, one, diary. If you look at my diary, my office diary, I have put the activities, the critical activities of my family to be part and parcel of the diary. If I have my children's sports day or maybe visiting day, when I open the diary, when I'm scheduling a meeting, I'll find my daughter's day there clearly set. So that has helped me to reduce on the issues of gaps and not being available. The second one, I think we are gifted in Uganda and in Africa to have the extended family. Sometimes what we need the women to know is that as you grow up, as you go higher, you will need your other family members to be a support pillar. I've been in situations where I'm chairing a board and it's my daughter's sports day. And then what I've done, I've called my sister and said, could you go quickly to the sports day? And then halfway the board, when I've reached somewhere, I'm able to run to the sports day. My daughter sees me, I take a few pictures and run away. When I'm at home, she's asking, Mommy, you were there? I'm saying, yes, I was there. So the innovativeness has to be done, but has to be deliberate. If you don't do it deliberate from day one, knowing that I have reached, it won't work. The last one is involving the family in decision making. When I was moving from one job to another, and I know that the job is more hectic, we had a round table. Because I have two older boys, 2 girls and 2 boys, 2 are older, and my husband, and said, this is the job I'm going to do. And then I had some saying, Mommy, don't take the job. 3 saying, Mommy, take the job. Now that involvement helps them to own the job with you. So if you're turning to work on Sunday, they know Mommy has gone to work. So they defend you. So that way you're able to balance the family, to balance the work. You will never balance 100%. It will be 50, 60, 40, and sometimes hard times call for hard decisions. If you're in a situation of a board chair, sometimes you're not able to be there. So for me, I think those are the tips, and what I'm saying is that every woman can make it. Because what I've shared is something achievable. Let's not fear take on huge tasks, huge roles, because we have ways in which we can actually close that gap.
I'll talk to Madame Bamtraki. In the past, they used to say women are a weaker sex, but from your positions, I think women are no longer a weaker sex. I don't know what's your take on this. Because sometimes you go to some institutions where you still have cases of maybe sexual harassment for when young girls are seeking jobs and all that kind of thing. But proving to an institution that I am not a weaker sex, I am somebody strong that has come here to add a value, yes.
I like your last statement, to add value. And if we look at situations in that line of adding value, then we won't have these problems. Interestingly, in the aviation industry, Olive will agree with me, we do not have that stereotype. Actually, it's one of the fewest industries where the woman and the man, there's no difference. It's just that the reason why we have fewer women is most of the girls don't do sciences. And most of the courses in aviation are science related. I'll give you an example. We were visiting the East African Flying School, Soroti, and we only found 2 girls as engineers, and then we found 6 as pilots. And I was troubled, and I kept asking why. Of course, they talked about how expensive it is and all that. Then I had the privilege of hosting young girls at the airline from different schools, and the girls were very clear that we don't want to do sciences. So there's that fear of doing sciences to move you into the aviation industry in some roles, like piloting, like engineering. There you need sciences. And like I said already, in the aviation industry, the ladies are seen as adding value. So we don't have that stereotype of she's a woman. It will be there if it's a government airline like the one I run, because you're working in a conservative society. But then peer to peer, we don't have that challenge.
Okay. Then also, as we wind up, you know, there are many young girls that are watching you this time. Yes, some of them are still studying and the rest of all this. But the science that comes with committing yourself with the determination to reach where you are is maybe what they want to listen to. Did you maybe at a certain point say, I don't want to do this, I want to focus on this, I have to maybe now, though you said your family is part and parcel of what you do, but sometimes you have had to take tough decisions to stick on course for what you want to be. Yes.
And that comes at a cost.
What do you mean a cost? Yes, yes.
Because you see, the DNA of a home, the mother runs the home. The mother knows what the children need. The mother is pivotal to the development of the home. But if you're not there, even if you do these diaries, I love the ideas she's given, because most of us do that. You will find something missing, something that was missed out because mommy wasn't there to sort it out. I want to ask the ladies out there, it's not difficult to be where we have been if you are where we are.
Would you want, when you retire from your job, be taken by another lady?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I said my challenge now is how many women are coming into the management leadership roles. So it's my duty to develop women to be where I am.
Okay, let me pick your last words. We're winding up. Your last words to the women that are watching you outside as they continue to enjoy this day, and how you'd want it to be celebrated.
I think every day is a woman's day. That's my view. Why? Because you are pivotal in your home, and everything starts at home. So for the women out there, this is just a day. It starts at a certain hour, ends at a certain hour. So every day should be Women's Day in our lives.
Okay. I'll start with a question before we wind up. I've been asking her that would you want, when you retire from your job, be taken by another woman?
Yes.
Are you not monopolizing the job?
No, I'm not. And what I can do, I can just share with you a bit of tips, because you asked, what is that you need to do to get there? One of the things that, for me, it has worked, and I know it can work for all the women, including men, I think clarity of purpose. Right from the start, clarity of purpose in your journey. What subjects are you going to do? What degree are you doing? If you've done a degree in mass communication, would you have to do mass communication at master's level? Because when you get to the top leadership position, we are looking at somebody who has a bit of each. Knowledge in audit, knowledge in finance, knowledge in human resource. So that clarity and being able to have a diverse kind of approach to your CV is one of the measures that we need to do. And because of that, right at the top, if you don't have any of those and you're one skewed, it will be a big challenge. So clarity of purpose becomes very, very critical. The other one is networks. Building networks and sustaining them. It doesn't matter how many qualifications you have. You may never get to know when there's an opportunity for a board. So how are you networking? How are you building relationships? Because the jobs we do at the top, you need the relationships to work with one another. So for me, some of those are the few that I can. I know we have very many that we have done very well, but I believe every woman can actually make it. But they must be very clear on where they want to go. The choices of jobs. Yes. Don't leave a job and go to another job just because of money. Where is that job taking you? If your task is to be a CEO, the jobs that you make should be able to be leading in a certain direction, and you tick it off. So it has to be deliberate.
You wanted to say something, yes?
I like what she said. Consistency. You see, as women, when we are expecting, when we are pregnant, we tend to want to be felt sorry for because we are in this position of pregnancy. We need to keep up the consistency.